APG or Angiosperm Phylogeny Group. The Angiosperm Phylogeny Group or APG is an informal international group of systematic botanists who collaborate to establish a consensus on the taxonomy of flowering plants or angiosperms that reflects new or latest studies in plant relationships discovered through phylogenetic studies. Evolution of the angiosperms, according to the Angiosperm Phylogeny Group, 2013 till 2016, 4 incremental versions of a classification system have resulted from this collaboration, published in 1998, 2003, 2009 and 2016. The Angiosperm Phylogeny Group considered the deficiencies in prior angiosperm classifications, since they were not based on monophyletic groups, that is, groups that include all the descendants of a common ancestor. APG publications are increasingly influential, with a number of major herbaria changing the arrangement of their collections to match the latest APG system. Role of the APG in angiosperm classification. In the past, classification systems were typically organized by an botanist, individually, or by a small group of botanists. These efforts resulted in a large number of systems, due to which different systems and their updates were generally favored in different countries. Examples are the Engler system in continental Europe, the Bentham and Hooker system in Britain, particularly influential because it was used by the Takhtajan system in the former Soviet Union and countries within its sphere of influence, and the Cronquist system in the United States. Before the availability of genetic evidence, the classification of angiosperms, also named as flowering angiospermi, Anthophyta, or Magnoliophyta, was based on their morphology, particularly of their flower, and biochemistry, the kinds of chemical compounds in the plant. After 1980s, detailed genetic evidence was analyzed, according to phylogenetic methods, that while confirmed or clarified some relationships in existing classification systems, also radically changed others. This posed problems for all users of classification systems, including encyclopedists. The impetus came from a major molecular study, published in 1993 based on 5,000 flowering plants and a photosynthesis gene R.V. C. L. This produced a number of surprising results in terms of the relationships between groupings of plants. For instance, the dicotyledons were not supported as a distinct group. At first there was a reluctance to develop a new system based entirely on a single gene. However, subsequent work continued to support these findings. These research studies initiated an unprecedented collaboration between a very large number of scientists. Thus, rather than mentioning all the contributors individually, a decision was made to assign them as Angiosperm Phylogeny Group Classification, or APG, being an abbreviation. In 1998, the first publication of APG got considerable popularity, as it was due to their intention to provide a widely accepted and more stable point of reference for angiosperm classification. As of 2016, 3 revisions have been published. In 2003, APG2, in 2009, APG3, and in 2016, APG-IV, each superseding the previous system. 13 researchers have been listed as authors to the 3 papers, and a further 43 as contributors. As this classification, just like any other, presents a view at a particular time based on a particular state of research, therefore, independent researchers, including members of the APG, continued to publish their own views on areas of angiosperm taxonomy. Yet, the APG publications are increasingly regarded as an authoritative point of reference. Following are some examples of the influence of the APG system. 1. A significant number of major herbaria, including Kew, are changing the order of their collections, in accordance with APG. 2. The influential World Checklist of Selected Plant Families, also from Kew, is being updated to the APG3 system. 3. In the United States in 2006, a photographic survey of the plants of the USA and Canada is organized according to the APG2 system. 4. In the UK, the 2010 edition of the Standard Flora of the British Isles by Stace is based on the APG3 system. The previous editions were based in the Cronquist system. Principles of the APG system. The principles of the APG's approach to classification were set out in the first paper of 1998, that remained unchanged in subsequent revisions, which are briefly mentioned below. The Linnean system of orders and families should be retained. The family is central in flowering plant systematics. An ordinal classification of families is proposed as a reference tool of broad utility. Orders are considered to be of particular value in teaching and in studying family relationships. Groups should be monophyletic, that is, consist of all descendants of a common ancestor. The main reason why existing systems are rejected is because they are not phylogenetic. That is, not based on strictly monophyletic groups. A broad approach is taken to defining the limits of groups, such as orders and families. Thus, of orders it is said that a limited number of larger orders will be more useful. Families, containing only a single genus, and orders, containing only a single family, are avoided where this is possible, without violating the overriding requirement for monophily. Above are parallel to the level of orders and families. The term clades is used more freely. Some clades have later been given formal names in a paper associated with the 2009 revision of the APG system. The authors say that it is not possible, nor is it desirable, to name all clades in a phylogenetic tree. However, systematists need to agree on names for some clades, particularly orders and families, to facilitate communication and discussion.